a new video of the Israel-Hamas war.
The war inside the Strip is going to be long, and we are ready for it.
With the Israeli Defensive Force entering Gaza territory. A fight that turned into a shooting.
It's an isolated dispute between two people,
leaving several Florida residents injured. A call to action.
That would mean that your home was underwater.
Regarding sea level rising. And South Florida celebrates Halloween weekend.
2-3 hours, it's enough.
At a reopening venue with live music and dancing. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Valentina Gaspari. Today is Monday, October 30th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Strikes in Syria. Israel announced today that it has aimed for targets across the border in response to launches from that country into Israel. Also today, an emergency meeting is scheduled at the United Nations Security Council.
As CNN's John Lawrence reports, diplomats are pushing for what they call an immediate humanitarian pause in the war between Israel and Hamas.
The UN warns the weeks of siege and bombardment are taking a toll on Gaza.
There is no bread, there is no gas, there is no food. Simple food. We can't even sort it out for the children.
Over the weekend, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country has started the second stage of its war against Hamas.
The war inside the Strip is going to be long, and we are ready for it. This is our second independence war. We are going to fight for the homeland, and we won't withdraw.
Israeli airstrikes have already done extensive damage to the region, and the Palestinian Red Crescent Society is accusing Israel of purposely launching attacks near the second largest hospital in Gaza City.
We were not safe. We are not living like normal people. We would like to go back to our homes. The Zionist occupation destroyed our life.
According to the United Nations, civil order is shrinking in Gaza, and U.S. officials say there's a chance this war in the Mideast could expand.
Hamas is making life extremely difficult for Israel by taking civilians as human shields and by putting their rocket infrastructure and terrorist infrastructure among civilians. That creates an added burden for Israel.
The death toll in Gaza from this war is more than 7,900 as of Sunday, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The suspect in Tampa's Ybor City mass shooting is waking up behind bars. Officers yesterday arrested Tyrell Stephen Phillips. He now faces second-degree murder charges after 2 people were killed and 16 were injured yesterday morning. Investigators believe a fight broke out between 2 groups, and they are looking to make more arrests.
It's an isolated dispute between 2 people that turned into a gun violence when it shouldn't have done that. 411 was a great resource where we've received camera footage to look at. So we're definitely looking at potential other shooters involved.
The people who died were 14 and 22 years old. The popular nightclub area was crowded over the weekend ahead of Halloween.
New details this morning about the events leading up to a mass shooting. According to CNN, the Maine National Guard asked Lewiston police to do a welfare check on Army Reservist Robert Card last month. A soldier became concerned Card would commit a mass shooting. Card committed suicide,
so the
and
owner
on
was
Friday,
very diligent to say,
found his body on their third search of a recycling facility.
So the Maine State Police Tactical Team ultimately were the ones that located the body within one of those trailers.
On Wednesday, Card shut up a bowling alley and a bar, killing 18 people.
Today, friends and family members are mourning the death of film and sitcom star Matthew Perry. The Los Angeles Times first reported that Perry died on an apparent drowning in the hot tub behind his LA home on Saturday. The 54-year-old wrote a memoir last year that detailed his off-screen battle with alcohol and pills. He was best known for his role as Chandler on the show Friends.
This morning, sea levels keep rising to concerning levels in South Florida. I had the pleasure of speaking to a group of people who are combating the issue in their own unique ways this Saturday at Viscaya Museum and Gardens.
Every person in there is volunteering to collect data to help future Miamians, to help
others. Inside the historic Vizcaya garage, local activists and specialists educated participants about how rising temperatures and climate change can affect sea levels. After the conference, we met with Alex and DeFroza, two environmental science majors at FIU. Their designated research spot was by the Miami Marine Stadium in Key Biscayne, so we made the drive with them to see how data is collected out in the field. Sea Level Solutions is an event held here near Key Biscayne every single year with the intention of not only educating people on rising sea levels in South Florida, but also helping them take part in the action. I'm here with Alex. Alex, what part of the process are you in? What are you planning on doing right now?
We're planning on going into like knee-deep level and then measuring how much the salt water has risen from last year's point. It's good to collect data points for how much the water has increased from last year to this year. So collecting data is most important for making good assumptions and decisions in the future.
The general idea is for us to understand how much salinity and like the sea levels have increased in the area, and that will also help us like in the overall modeling.
Artist and environmental activist Xavier Cortada told me how he plans to further expand awareness across all of South Florida in his own creative way.
When the Antarctic ice melted because of our impacts on climate enough to rise to the number that you would put on your yard sign, that would mean that your home was underwater. And the reason I did that was so that people could have a conversation.
If you missed out on this event, do not worry. Vizcaya Museum and Gardens is at the forefront of change in South Florida. You can visit their website anytime for more information.
Former Vice President Mike Pence announced he is no longer running for president on Saturday. The campaign suspension surprised many at the Republican Jewish Coalition in Las Vegas. Even though Pence is out of the race, he will continue to help elect, quote, principled Republican leaders. A Republican advisor close to his campaign says Pence's decision comes after qualification concerns for the upcoming third Republican debate.
A week has passed since the United Auto Workers strike expanded to include the largest General Motors plant in the country. KTVT's Olivia Leach has more on the labor walkout.
Despite the rain, cold, and wind, these GM workers spent their Sunday on the front lines of the stand-up strike, a nationwide strike for better pay and benefits for workers at America's big three automakers, GM, Ford, and Stellantis.
We haven't had a raise in years. We've been giving and giving and giving, and now I think they should consider us.
Gloria Dennis Thomas has worked for GM for almost 40 years. She'd like to retire, but she just can't.
And people with 30 and 40 years, sure, they want to retire and go on out, but everything is so high, and we do need a raise.
The union says GM's latest offer failed to give workers a fair share of their record profits. This week, GM reported $3.5 billion in third quarter earnings.
We work so hard to produce quality and quantity for GM.
GM called the expansion of the strike to the Arlington facility, quote, unnecessary and irresponsible. On Sunday, UAW President Shawn Fain outlined a tentative deal the union made with Ford.
For every member, the money will be significant. For many members, it will be life-changing.
The tentative deal with Ford includes a 25% increase in wages for Ford employees and a 150% raise for Ford temps and a cost of living adjustment. These striking GM workers want GM to agree to some of those same benefits.
So that we can get back to work.
That was KTVT's Olivia Leach reporting. That was KTV's Olivia Leach reporting. Negotiations with General Motors continued while the United Auto Workers have reached tentative agreement with Stellantis.
Tua looking to extend his unbeaten streak against the Patriots.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
I know John Summit is coming.
Why wait until Halloween to start the celebration? We're taking a look back at what happened over this weekend. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
A scary time over the weekend building up towards Halloween. Even though Halloween is tomorrow, most partygoers in Miami already celebrated their Halloween weekend.
Caplin News' Sofia Bolivar was in Hialeah over the weekend.
Soon people will start lining up as Factory Town hosts their 3-day Hocus Pocus festival. The Halloween-themed rave lasted 3 nights, starting on Friday the 27th until Sunday the 29th, with the events lasting 12 hours from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Despite it being a Sunday, event attendees still made an effort to enjoy the last night.
I know John Summit is coming, but it's gonna be at 6 in the morning and I have school at 9, so it's not gonna work, yeah. Yesterday I was here till 8 in the morning, not 7 in the morning. And so 7 hours yesterday, so today 2-3 hours, it's enough.
This 18-plus electronic playground hosted an estimate of over 4,000 people. 3 stages decorated the venue, along with several vendors, bars, lounges, and you can't forget the ghost.
Es algo que tienes que hacer.
This is something you have to do and have to experience. I think every person should try going to an event like this at one point. Even if you think it isn't for you, you should try it because the ambience and music is great. You see all types of people here. The event brought more than 48 DJs, including Chicago's John Summit. Factory Town will return for Miami Art Week, hosting Rufus Du Sol's Rose Avenue party in December. After a fun-filled weekend with DJs such as John Summit, these partygoers have definitely had an upbeat Halloween weekend. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Sofia Bolivar.
This morning, the Dolphins are back at home and in their winning ways as they took the Patriots down for the second time this season. The Fins went down early on after the Patriots scored on a drive following a pick thrown by Tua Tagovailoa. He would redeem himself, though, by throwing a heave from the logo to Tyreek Hill, who wakes up today as the only player in the Super Bowl era to top 1,000 receiving yards in 8 games. The Fins' offense would not let up after that, with touchdowns from Cedric Wilson Jr. and Jalen Waddle, who did redeem himself after 3 drops. The final score was Patriots 17, Dolphins 31. The Fins are back to facing steep competition this week as they travel to Germany to match up against the Kansas City Chiefs. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Valentina Gaspari. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.